Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin, and this is your daily message and meditation for no, not Monday, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, Thursday, the 11th of March, 2021. So we have 311 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. It's a very creative year, I think. That number 6, numerology. Don't really study a whole lot about numerology. I'm not a numerologist, but I do know the creative power of the 3, the 6, and the 9. They're sort of indivisible numbers. They can do many things. I always 369 trilogy always reminds me of the triangle. They all it's quite fascinating creative number of number 6. Don't know why I told you that. I just felt like sharing it. All right, so I had a good sleep. I hope you did. And I've got some great messages. I did a second one of our bonus webinars yesterday with the certification group that I'm part of, Angel Certification with Kyle Gray. Very informative. I find it inspirational. What I'm learning more than I have before is the learning of the learning, that it's always important to continue learning and sharing and learning and sharing. And I have thankfully overcome this fear that I need to know what I'm talking about all the time. And I think that comes from the judgment that I received, growing up, not from relatives, but in a constructive education system that we had. It was always, you never really got up and did public speaking or educated anybody unless you were really fully prepared. And sometimes, and now I'm learning that oftentimes things aren't prepared completely and they're not ready 100% when the information comes out. I struggled with that when I was learning to teach yoga and the methodologies of yoga. That basically the principal takeaway I have, the energy of yoga, the meaning of yoga is to join it all up, but that it all happens simultaneously at the same time. And then you work with spirit, and spirit is in the now, in the right now. And I had this almost like yin yang dichotomy, stuck in the wait a minute, you can prepare for something in the future, but you're preparing it right now, all these things. And then, here comes goals. So you set your sight on what the goal is, and then you work the goal backwards. So if you intend to do something by a certain date, a certain time, you do a by when, and then you track it back. So for you to get there by that time, you need to be here by this time. You need to be there by this time. So all these things become the focus, and that becomes the message of today. Focus. What are we focused on? And all of that I just said had to do with not being focused on having your stuff together at the time that you present yourself to people. One thing I know for sure, after working with the public since I was probably 11 or 12 in different forms, serving them, delivering things to them. My first job was with my mum, delivering meat from a butcher in local villages. She drove the van and I helped her get the orders into people's houses. We lived on a little cluster of villages on the south coast of England known as the Isle of Purbeck. There were several little villages, and the deliveries would go out, I believe, Thursdays, Fridays and Saturday mornings. And they would go to the different areas. And I believe at one point there were 2 blue vans, Vauxhall vans. Oof, my memory comes flooding back. Several local women were drivers, including the butcher's daughter. Anyway, we'd load up and we'd go to this village and we'd work our way to the next village and back again. Would take about 3 or 4 hours to get all these orders out. Anyway, serving the public. When I was in public service, you never always prepared for what there is, and then here we go. 40 something almost, yeah, 40 something years later. And what I know for sure is that people respond to authenticity. People respond to you being who you are, doing what you're doing all the time. And sometimes we can over prepare. Sometimes we can get so stuck in the details of what it looks like, what it's going to look like, and the fear of how it's going to get presented. We absolutely, completely miss the bigger picture, which is to serve it up. Yes, I mean, it's not like food. When you put a plate in front of you, it's been well presented, and it makes you want to, enjoy your meal. Those kind of small details, pomp and circumstance. But here's the reality. Authenticity means I'm hungry, give me my grub. Doesn't matter. Let's just eat. Two ways of looking at it. One is more of an experience, that pomp and the ceremony and the, beautiful table, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and whenever you set the table, gorgeous, wonderful experience. That's different than I got to eat right now. Let's go. So here's our message for today. Sometimes I come up with the oddest of analogies. I'm not often sure quite how they all work out, but they do. There we go. So I shuffled now these come from Carl Gray's Angel Prayers Oracle Guidebook or cards. I'm loving the images on these because I think Lily Moses may have done this. I don't know where does she even get credit for this? Oh no, hang on. Cover design Leanne Sue Anastasi. Cover illustration is Jason McCready. So I don't quite know if... I know Hay House are the authors of these. I really ought to research who these illustrations are because they're quite lovely. Anyway, digressing. The first card I pulled, I asked for a card for myself, and that was Focus Your Mind. And I thought, well, okay, on what? And then basically the angels are telling me that your mind is all over the place, and we want you to ask us in to help you organize it all. I will say this, it has brought me to realize that I've been in the process of decluttering, removing things that no longer serve me, that I no longer want, and it feels refreshing to do it. Pieces of furniture, old mugs, just things I don't use that I've donated to various thrift stores. So that has been very refreshing for me. The other thing I'm focusing on, which I learned yesterday, or at least I got landed on yesterday during the message, was to begin an angel circle, a gathering of people, and let it expand. Let these messages expand. So I'm starting on Sunday with the Soul Path Sundays, beginning at 2:00. I'll go over on the Zoom and gather a group of people together and see what happens. The other card that comes in is Count Your Blessings, right here on the right. Thank you, universe and angels, for the blessings in my life. So the two of them together actually make up an important message. And the important message really is, what are you focusing your mind on? If you focus your mind, and we have talked about this, I don't want to belabor the point, but if you're focusing your mind on the lack thereof, what you don't have, you're not actually giving thanks and gratitude for what you do have. We're told all the time, count your blessings, be grateful for what you've got. I learned last week about the Japanese term of arigato, when you buy something or you sell something or you get money for something in exchange of finances. In this case, it's arigato in and arigato out. And it is a Japanese term to give thanks, very similar to the greeting, the Eastern greeting of namaste, the light, the love, the chi, the beauty, the everything that is good about people. You see it in them as they see it in you. So arigato is a Japanese term for blessing of what you are sharing. In this case, it's money. So if you're counting your blessings on how you, let's just say for sake of argument, you are experiencing some challenges with your health and you want to feel better, you want to feel physically better. So then count the blessings that is already working for you. For example, you can hear people saying, well, I can't really do this, my arm that, my leg this, my foot that, my back this, my shoulder that. The focus is, well, what is working? Did you, have rest? Did you sleep? And then you'll hear people that went, yeah, I did, but this woke me up and that woke me up. That's focusing on the problem. That's not focusing on what is actually working. What's working is your eyes are open and you can see me. What's working is your ears are open, you can hear me. What's working is the birds are singing, you're not paying attention to them. What's working is know that you're hungry, your brain is focusing on who I am. Those are kind of things. I'm using this as an example of when we're focusing on what we don't have, what is not working, the negative, that's floating the vibration down. It's floating the vibration to a place where angels and spirits and the higher light, love of the universe can't reach you, because they don't vibrate there. They just don't. If you're looking for light work, peace, balance, harmony, love, prosperity, abundance, all of the things that we actually have the right to, we actually have the permission to have. We've actually been given this life to go down or come in and experience these things. We want them. We'd like to experience them. If you're focusing on wanting all of the goodness, like if your affirmation is I expect all my intentions to manifest, or you've got to use words that make things come your way the way you want them. And a good way to start it would be to start a sentence with I am, and there's a blank. I know this, whatever the blank is, or because, or how do you know this? I feel it, and so it is. So when you're making really bold affirmations, in this case, I am the light, I know this because it's in me, or because I'm of it, or because I vibrate with it, and I feel it from my toes to the top of my head and beyond, and so it is. Then you can always use things like I'm more than enough. You could use an affirmation such as love all of this abundance, and I'm good at managing my life. All these things, all these affirmations that are available to you help to raise the vibration. And the angelic realms, the source energy, the light work, the spirit guides, the Christed light, whatever that is that lifts you, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like va 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 voom, I've got it, it's all happening. That is where your source energy wants you to get to. That feeling that the top's down or the sunroof's open and your radio is playing something that just lights you up, just gets you going. That's the energy. That is what you want to align yourself with. Now, oftentimes we find ourselves with people who aren't counting their blessings, and they're focused on the lower vibrations. And that's hard to take, especially when it's with relatives and friends and people we love and care about. There's a little thing that happens when we are on the road to transformation. And transformation would be, like we're going on right now with spring. The trees are coming into bud and blossom. There's a few people that are noticing it, but lots more that are not. Don't even see it, don't even care. This tree that went through all weathers all winter long, lay dormant, is now about to flourish in blossoms that are incredibly beautiful and so pretty, and leave a bigger landscape. That's all from the source energy. And I've got angels just crooning around. That is what happens when our vibrations lift up. These angels, these angelic beings come. So just as we prepare sacred space to either pray or when we go to sleep, or we raise the vibration up that way, getting rid of the clutter, which I've been doing, the things that they hold vibrations that aren't working, that don't make a whole hill of beans, those things, they have to be removed so that more light, more lightness, more joy, more this can come. I was talking about the transition and other people. There's two ways to be. By you doing what you're doing and lifting vibrations and transforming in a better way for yourself, it does take work. And it takes new habits. The old habits have to go away. So there's vulnerability in there. You've let go of something you've done for so long. It's tough because it's a habit. And not being sure of what will replace it is the tough part, the vulnerability. The bit like you've left one trapeze swing, you haven't caught the other one, you're dangling. So that dangling is the vulnerable place. That's where you focus your energy on, where you start to make the plan that, okay, well, I've done this, I've moved that out of the way. Now I get to decide what's next. I get to choose what's next. I get to pick what's next. It's a bit like somebody who, transforms their physical body. They get to choose what clothes go in the closet, but you've got to get the old ones out. There's no room for everything. That reminds me of a little tiny tidbit I got from somebody about dust. I was trying to research how best to, dust. I've got 6 dogs and they kick up dust, a lot of it. And I wanted an effective way to dust. And this lady was talking about, get things out of your closet. Every time you open the door of your closet, the dust that's on your clothes comes flying out. And I thought, oh, that's a good way of decluttering your closet. You don't need all these clothes, really. I think about the English where I'm from, and they have a wardrobe. And it's just really a tall floor-to-ceiling cupboard. And there's one for if you share a room. It's one for each person. They're not very big. They don't hold very many clothes. And the Western world, that we're spoiled. We want not just a closet. We want one we will walk in and turn the lights on and put the boxes up. And it's amusing. It's just amusing to me that we have space. We want more space, and we've got more space. We cram the space with more things to create more space. It's quite delightful. That's not to say I'm ready for the tiny home community quite yet. I take my hat off to those folks. That is living life minimal, taking it a little bit further than I'm comfortable going. But listen, if I had to, I would. Where was I going with that? Don't know. Oh, the transformation of how it affects other people. When you start transforming and you start raising your vibration, you start becoming lighter, more joyful, people notice it. They notice it before you even notice it. And some people want it. Some people want it so much so that they feel like that you don't deserve it. I've had that. How come? Well, hang on, I want some of what you got. They're not willing to do the work. That's where you can step in. Raising your vibration is sharing. And that means listening. That means being careful to listen to somebody who is, I wish I could do this like you, and you see them, they sink back, their arms get folded, and they're plop like this. So your answer to that is very, very easy. I wish for that for you too. Not condescending, not judgmental, but when they say, I wish I could be more like you, I wish I could do this like you do, and I wish that for you too. Then you can invite them in to follow the plan with you, not to get them wrapped up in something that they're not comfortable with, but just to see if you're interested. Let's get together, have a cup of coffee. Let's sit down and, map out a plan. Let's look at where you aren't this way and see if we can get you that way. Now, what I will say for sure, that opens the door and plants the seed. Your job could be to open the door and plant the seed, create a deeper friendship. Your job is not to do the work for someone else. That's a big trap we fall into. We fall into this trap of being so clean and clear and doing the work and working truly hard on elevating, raising the vibration, attracting that energy that we want, that snowballs, which is when you count your blessings, I can say, hand to God, more come. When you're grateful for even a penny, even $1, when you get your happy money together and you're counting your happy money, saying, thank you, hallelujah, I've got my happy money, my angel money, my mad money, my joyful money. When you're doing that, more of that comes. But if you're sitting in the, can't afford this, can't pay the bill, don't have the rent, don't have the this, don't have the that, then more of that don't have comes. And that vibration's way on down there. It's hard. So in the event you get something like that, you become the inspiration, whether you like it or not. Then you can give somebody the empowerment to make the changes. But know how difficult it was, your path for you, one step at a time, one piece at a time. There was no quick fix, trust me. If there was an easy way around things, a quick way through things, I would have found it. Because I spent years, decades looking for the quick way around, the fast track. Yeah, not so much. Now, at 58, I appreciate the time it takes to learn the lesson that I am learning, because it gets me more time to devote to one thing at a time, one piece at a time. And the time, the lesson is, do I really need that right now? Have I really got to have it right now? What is my priority? Here's an exercise for all of you, and then I will get to, we're running over. I've got to get to the message and the meditation. In the morning, when you get up, first thing, get your coffee, get your people together, get a piece of blank paper, note paper, the blessings that come to your mind, and get to 10 of them quickly. 10 blessings you're grateful for, whatever, hot water, heat in your house, the car, the driveway, whatever those things are. They can be material, they can be emotional, they can be whatever. Then on the other side, 10 priorities for that one day. List them in order of importance. You've got to get dressed. You've got to return phone calls. You have to prepare for whatever your day is doing. There's your priority. And then you just take that piece of paper and you've got it with you. Here's my blessings. Here's my priorities. You'll keep your vibration focused on the good stuff that you've got and the great things you get to do. It stops this trap. It stops this dumping in of these holes that you fall into, where we get bored. That's it. It's just bored and complacency. So I'm going to think today about the Angel Circle or Soul Path Sundays. I'm going to start with. I really want to get a group that actually gathers in person. I don't know how that works, but I'm feeling like when the restrictions ease up closer to the summer, it might be something we do once a month. Okay, all right, I'll think about it. Let's get to the daily message from, really quickly, trust me, really quickly. I wanted an extra card for me because I thought, well, I don't know if this is complete. And I got synchronicity. Thank you, angels. I trust well-timed guidance and the signs. So that just pulled all that together, that nothing's in a hurry. Don't be in a rush. Let's see what the daily message is. I think there's time to read it. We just talked about this, about trees and leaves and all this. Enjoy the changing scenery. How easy is it to think, I will be free like this forever. I will be feeling this forever. Boy, hang on, let's start again. How easy is it to think, I will be feeling like this forever, but look at how quickly the scenery changes. In the space of a few hours while driving down the highway, we can see mountains, deserts, and petrified forests, and iron-rich mesas. In the space of a day, we can see courage, faith, despair, desolation, anger, healing, and joy. If there's one thing that's true, it's this. The universe is always changing. It is constant, continual evolution. The same holds true for the minutes, the hours, and days of our lives. We are continually changing and shifting. Each emotion, attitude, and experience, each piece of scenery leads into the next. Put them all together and see what you have. A grand journey, an exciting trip that leads to someplace worth going and someplace worth being. Each moment that you're here, look at how quickly the scenery changes. Learn to enjoy the view. That's for your whole life. I use that term, your whole life, all of it. One thing that came to mind this morning is time. Not how much we have of it, how we're using it. What are we doing with it? It's important, especially now. We are through the challenges we've faced before. Trust me, there'll be more. But it did bring us to a new sense of where we are, at least for me, and what I'm about, and how important it is to somehow be of service in a way I'm not sure yet what that looks like. But I can rely on what I do best to do that. Okay, let's meditate. Feet flat on the floor. And start with a breath in. Let all that go. Allow your palms to face upward towards your heart and your feet to face and place downward towards the floor. And connect with the feeling of your feet on the floor. If you want to stretch your toes out, lift them up, put them back down. If you want to roll into your inner arches and roll out to the blades of your feet. Purpose is to integrate your mind with where your physical body is and know that your spirit, your soul, the authentic essence of you is the energetic vibration from source energy that runs up and down, in, from the ethers way above the planets and the crust of the earth itself. Your vibration is felt all the way through. Begin to cultivate a breath. One that you are conscious of. One that fills you up Settle in and scan your body with your conscious mind. And from your feet up through your legs into your seat. From your seat into your belly. Your belly into your heart, lungs, chest, upper back. From your chest into your third eye center between your eyebrows. And finally, the crown of your head, the top of your head, and imagine a soft opening. We'll start this meditation with a prayer, palms facing up, and the prayer of protection. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for cutting the ties that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, drama, and any unnecessary nonsense and rubbish I no longer want, I no longer need, or no longer serves my purpose. And I give thanks that you're here and you've cut these binds right now. And so it is. I am safe. I'm free. Bring your hand, right hand to your heart, left hand to your belly, or vice versa, but just place them gently on your body. You nurture yourself with this prayer. I am the keeper of my mind and my body. Wherever love is, light is, joy is, happiness is, fear, darkness, sadness are strangers. Love is here within me. And I am the light. And then think of something that you are happy about and most importantly grateful for. Allow that light and that love and that joy and that harmony to just shine. And think of the source energy, the energy that created you, matching that vibration with yours and increasing it. Bring that loving golden light down. Let it fill you up. Let it overflow. Let this feeling of lightness just spill out beyond you in all directions. Now this ball of light to be your bubble, your area of protection. Now we ask the angels to come in, join us. Thank you, angels, spirit guides and higher ones. Lifted vibrational energies, thank you for reminding us of your presence. It's good to see you, it's good to feel you. Thank you for revealing what we need to know through this meditation and beyond. We are grateful to listen and to receive. And so it is. Allow your physical body to be completely relaxed, lovely and still, with your mind focused on your breath and the area between your third eye center. With you intentionally lifted, your vibration intentionally lifted, your focus being lifted. You are open to receive the vibrational, intentional energies of higher spirits and angels. Just keep your breath going just like this. Continue with your breath. Notice if you're looking for something to focus on, if your mind is creating thoughts, acknowledge the thought. Release its energy. Your thought around a situation, acknowledge the situation. Thank you for showing me what I need to know. Listen for the mental message as to how to resolve it. Through the meditation, you are learning to let go of control. Freedom is the ability to let go and let God. Trust is hardwired into each and every spirit. Therefore, trust is hardwired into each and every human being. Trust comes through the intuition. Each and every individual is born with intuition. The intuition is the inner guidance The inner guidance is hardwired through the central nervous system. The central nervous system is responsible for emotional responses. The flush of energy to the face, sudden urge to eliminate sharp contraction of muscles. The instant gasp are all neurological reactions and responses to each and every situation, person, place that is not aligned with us. peace, the feeling of comfort, feeling of ease, freedom and joy are also hardwired into the central nervous system. They show up when we smile, when the truth of gratitude overtakes us, when the feeling of unconditional love causes the eyes to tear up with joy. This is also linked to trust. Trust is hardwired in this way to show messages for what we must pay attention to and what we are aligned with. You are being encouraged at this time to meditate, focus your vibrational energy, your hardwired trust on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, for they will show you where your blessings are. Focus on your blessings. Release control of your demands. Your hands to prayer at heart center. Connect with that feeling of softness and ease. Lift your thumb knuckles between your third eye center to acknowledge the world and you being part of it. Together we bow and say namaste. Whew. So, I felt took me a while to settle in. I got into the meditation pretty quickly, but I could feel an angel, big energy coming that wanted to speak and did about the nervous system and how you know and intuition and trust. Um, so I'm just assuming that for us to pay attention to how all that feels, to know that we have the inner, just trust. Focus on what you want. Focus on what makes you happy. Count the blessings. Count what you're happy for. Count what you're abundant in. And count where you count, where you matter. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.